Okay, hi. So, while I'm sitting here looking at the computer, I'm about to start getting ready for work. Someone shared a link with me that um, Spackle is going live talking about me as usual. So, but I was listening. I'm like, oh wow, this is a perfect opportunity for me to do like a live reactionary. So I'm recording this right now while I get ready for work. I have like an hour, maybe 15 minutes to do this. So hopefully she gets through it pretty quickly. But we'll see. Probably not knowing her. But I'm gonna get right to it.
Like, I'll get to that one in a second. Actually, let me put this.
She's playing a stream of mine
tabs, not to lose
where
it.
I answer a bunch of questions about some things.
Don't be a dick. Exactly.
I'll fill it in as we go.
Where like this one here, like this. I had made a tweet. I put a tweet out saying, anyone refusing to show evidence simply does not have any evidence. And once again, the one hiding behind the anonymity is talking about truth surfacing. Honest people don't need to hide. Only those people with shit to hide need to hide. And I stand by this, okay? Because let me be very frank here. If you're going to make an outrageous claim or a pretty substantial claim, a claim that will alter the course of a discussion, then you need to provide evidence or proof, or at the very least, you need to provide the credibility of the person making the claim. And if you do none of this, then the person making the claim behind anonymity is not important as shit talker. Okay, that's just the facts of the matter. Okay, and
so it's interesting. We can discuss like maybe how like victims should be able to share their story without pushback or somebody pulling their R report. But also we could talk.
Oh my God, she is so fucking obsessed with that. See, she skipped over the whole beginning of the video here. I'm not talking about people making claims of essay. Like, that's not even close. That's nothing near what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are the craziest accusations made against me by people on Twitter behind anonymous accounts or anon accounts. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not at all talking about sexual assault or Katie or reports or any of that shit. But as usual, Spackle is obsessed with this. This is all she wants to talk about. Like, this is kind of disturbing. Like, I'm starting to feel kind of violated at this point. It's for real. Like, bitch, move on. You're fucking disturbed.
Talk about maybe, like, I think there's conversations about naming people and not naming people, things like that.
What are you talking about?
Those are conversations to have. But it's interesting that there's sort of a default of I don't know what to say, like Karening this. Like, I have right now because you said something publicly about your victimhood and you said something negative about a police officer.
Literally, my entire video, like, for real. Here, let me pull this up a little bigger so I can look at it here. Okay, what does this say? Answering some nonsense regarding Twitter live streams and police reports once and for all. What I'm talking about in the beginning of this video is what people were doing live streams about. I mean, and what they were saying on Twitter. This is I'm not getting into the police reports until the end of this video, which if you watch it, you'll see. Like, I'm really fucking, this is crazy. She's so desperate to turn everything into fucking sexual assault. Like, does anyone else see how disturbing this is? And trying to make it sound as if I'm like some sort of perpetrator in this. I mean, what the fuck, dude? I mean, you sit there and say how you care about victims and everything, but you don't know the first thing about me. So you don't even know what kind of harm you could be doing to me right now. But nor do you care, because you know what? It's all about you. It's all about you being right. It's all about how badly you can fucking make me look so you can feel like some sort of fucking superior person. You're not doing your shit. You're fucking shit. I don't even care if I'm mean at this point.
I have a right now to pull that.
This is fucking weird.
That report, and it's just strange to me.
I'm not muted.
Yeah, they're a shit talker because they're not providing any proof or evidence to back their claims, nor are they providing anyone to face accountability for their claims, should claims be proven false or whatever. You're providing nothing. You're hiding. It's kind of being a pussy, if I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know how else to call it. I don't like to use that term because whatever, but definitely being a coward.
Like seriously, in order for her interpretation to be correct, that would mean that right there, I'm calling people who claim to be victims of sexual assaults, I'm calling them pussies. This is, if her narration is correct, that's what I just did there. That's fucking nuts.
Coward.
I think it really shows how much EKC does not believe that KJP is a victim, because she wouldn't speak this way unless she completely.
You're right. I wouldn't speak that way. That's why I'm not speaking that way about that. But you want to make it about that. You want to make it so that's what I'm saying. Like, why, dude? Like, you can't come at me with like normal shit. You gotta manufacture shit.
What completely dehumanizes KJP?
Oh my god!
Like there's just an assumption
You
that
are completely dehumanizing me right now because I'm not even talking about that. You skipped over the whole beginning of my video where I make it clear what I'm talking about. You're manufacturing this. You're doing this on purpose. Like, do you not see how deceitful that is? No, of course not, because you probably feel justified for some reason. Oh my god! Like, you're so fucking full of yourself. You don't even see like how fucking wrong you are.
and that just from the get-go that this person is a liar. And I think that's a very dangerous thing to do, because there are people that we dislike strongly. There are people that could be narcissists. There are people that could be people that just do bad things or have bad takes or have harmed people, and they still can be a victim. It's like it's not like just because I dislike someone, it's impossible for them to be a victim of something. And I think that's very dangerous. And that's just my.
And you don't think that this same shit, everything you're saying could easily, very well, should apply to me. And you don't think that that's dangerous? You don't think you're being a piece of shit right now? You know I'm not even talking about Katie in this part of the video. You know this. But you're purposely making it sound like as if I am. That's not dangerous. That's not harmful.
Impression from all the things that you said. And kind of putting it together going, I definitely sense and see this about you, that it just sort of drips off of you.
I'm going to say that much. And other than that, there's some other, mostly tweets. People seem to be really upset about mine and Unirock's stream. And I really hope Unirock isn't like kind of feed.
See, talking about Twitter.
Yeah, most of us didn't like that stream.
Into it or falling for it, whatever, or buying into it, I don't know, however.
Well, most of you should have fucking known better than to expect something different from Unirock. I mean, you're like the only ones.
It looks like maybe he's, but I really hope he's not. I would hope he would, I don't know, be more of a,
oh, there's one that, like, back of my neck.
Be more of a person who stood by themselves. But I wanted to say that, yeah, my Unirock's discussion, like Unirock, for real, I did think it was going to be more of a debate. And I thought that because of all the back and forth and everything at Twitter leading up to,
Frankly, I thought it was going to be debate too, but it definitely was like, hey man, let's have a nice chat and high tea. But I mean, that's just kind of how he is. He doesn't really hardcore debate and go in for throats. Like he has like a very long.
He avoids confrontation. Just say it. Just say it. Quit pussyfooting around. Just say it. He avoids confrontation. He doesn't like to be confronted. He doesn't like to have to be faced with his bullshit. Just be honest.
Long, drawn out.
Don't make it sound like this is little style and technique. Nah, he's a bitch.
Out conversation.
The agreement of this debate, and right up until like where we set a date and shit, it was that back and forth banter that led me to believe that, and I think much of other people to believe it. It wasn't until I think it was the day of the live stream where you had tweeted to me saying, "Oh, just relax, it's just a conversation or whatever." That's when it dawned on me, like, oh, okay, so I guess it's not going to be a debate. But I still thought maybe it will be. I don't know, but was definitely under the impression that that's not going to be the case. So, and don't get me wrong,
Yeah, some of us are discussers, some of us are grapplers, some of us are debaters, some of us are rhetoricians.
Some of you are baiters.
I'm pretty good at rhetoric, but I'm not necessarily the best at data. You know, I would have to have it all lined up
You're really fucking good at deflection. Is that number something?
ahead of time.
loved it. I loved our conversation. I hope we had more of them, whether they're on stream or off
I
stream.
did
whatever.
hope, and I
do.
no
hope we
longer
have
do.
More of them. I really enjoyed it. In fact, like there's, as far as the whole vaccine community, there's a lot of other shit that I'm involved in and doing behind the scenes. It's not for public consumption or whatever, but it's like real life stuff too. And
behind the scenes things that she's doing. Yeah.
Called being an
Gosh, well, I hope
advocate
you're
and
not
an
an advocate
activist.
for anybody. It'd be terrifying.
It's someone
You
like
should
you
be.
would be, I think would be awesome to be able to come to for whatever, even if you want to work with me on it. The state that you
Thank
live
you
in
for
is
speeding me up.
One of the major ground zeros
She's
for the entire
coddling
like
coddling the ego of
so,
Unirock because that works
kind of sucks. So with any
for
chance
her.
that
You know, I'm not above using that tactic. I'll be honest, I'm not. But that's really and truly not at all what I was doing. At that time, under the impression I was under, and what I had believed and was under the impression or whatever, I really was amazed. I would have loved a conversation, providing what I was under the impression to believe was actually true. That is, anyway. I'm since kind of learned otherwise. Like it's not entirely true. It's like instead of like 100% true, it's like maybe 15% true. So no, that wasn't me appealing to anyone's ego or coddling or whatever. I was actually being genuine, sincere. That's not to say that I'm not above using that tactic. I have used it before, and I'm sure I will again.
shot. I really hope not. But why people have an issue
You
with
just
this
do
is
such a
beyond me.
great
I don't get it.
job.
What the fuck is the problem? What do you care? Why do you care? I mean, really, it's like people just wanted me to show up on stream for everyone to just scream at me about what a shit person I am. And let's be honest about this here, okay? The reason why people want to call me a shit person is because they have some sort of R apologist or whatever. They want to throw in my face how I read this R report or whatever.
See, now I bring it up.
You read it.
I don't think you're necessarily an R apologist because you didn't defend David Earl Warden, but you definitely
really? Because you did call me that before.
The way that you defined our apology was definitely a straw man. It was just like
no, it wasn't a straw man. It was the actual definition of it by an actual activist page that fights against our apology. That's where I got my definition from. It's quite funny that you now say that it's a straw man argument. Anyway, and it's funny. So if you're saying that you don't actually think I'm one now, does that mean that you admit that you were wrong before when you called me one? I mean, I just want to be clear about this so I know where I stand here.
it's just like a repeat of how Red Rhetoric explains it, and I have it in like a video somewhere.
What does Red Rhetoric have to do with me?
But
like seriously, why are you trying to warp this other conversation that somebody else had somewhere else into me when there's no connection? It's like, what, you can't find an argument with what I actually said easily enough, so now you have to try to like fit these unfittable puzzle pieces together? Is that, I mean, dude, just stick with me. I mean, aren't I enough?
You need to work on the definition of that, I think. My opinion. Also, you seem to be really focused in on coddling Steve's ego and doing damage.
Yeah, Mike's gonna take you out in a minute. How am I coddling Steve's ego? When, give me examples. When have I sat there and coddled his ego? Like seriously, because the only thing I'm doing is not coddling your ego. In fact, I'm doing the exact opposite of that. And well, it can't possibly be you on why I'm doing that. No, it has to be because I'm all about Steve, right? 1 second. Okay, I'm back.
Damage control and PR spin, and you're just sort of like an older Cheshire. Like that's really what it is. You're doing the same job with no pay, and it's
Really?
hilarious.
I did our live stream there.
I'm doing
And
the same job. Am I making artwork for the NSS channel? Am I co-anchoring, whatever, co-airing on it with him? Why can't I think of the word? Co-starring, whatever. Am I like ever on the channel? Am I ever tweeting about the channel, talking about the channel? Am I ever tweeting or talking about anything else regarding anything else Steve does, or against or with anyone else that Steve associates with? Really, like seriously, how the fuck am I Cheshire? I don't do a fraction of the shit Cheshire did. You know, like I do consider Steve a friend. Don't get me wrong. I do consider him, a good friend. I don't think he and I are as close of friends as he and Cheshire were. I mean, they were friends for years, like a long time. So, like, seriously, how the fuck am I Cheshire? Dude, I can't even draw a smiley face that looks fucking believable. Like, I can't draw. I don't know what to say.
The end of October 2020. And sure, we caught a little bit of shit, but we didn't catch a lot of shit. Not by today's standards, anyway. By comparison, we didn't catch much shit at all. But my shit that I've been catching, it really didn't start until like around, I don't know, May, June, maybe, 2021, months
That's
later.
Alice, by
when
the
I
way,
started to
Island
speak
Mama. Just
highly
so you
or
know.
show any kind of support for Steve against Katie. That's when, that's when people really started at me for shit. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw that out there. You people never tweet at me before about my little stream until spring 2021. Then you are an exploitative piece of shit who uses art as a weapon against people.
So here's where she does the turnaround. So one of the things that PKC has a few different tools. They're not very good tools, by the way. So let me explain. One of them is whataboutery.
You seem to be all bothered by him.
So is you can prove some sort of hypocrisy or
do you see how pathetic you sound when you do that? It's the hypocrisy from you. Do it to Tina too. Like you can't think of any other more clever way to come at us but to mock us like a child who's repeating everything someone says. Like you don't see that?
Perceive hypocrisy. She thinks sort of like a get out of jail card free.
Okay. Explain that. What jail am I trying to get out of there? What jail? And how does that get me out of the jail? Like, what are you talking about? Just because I call you a hypocrite, that's my way of deflection or whatever? That doesn't get me out of anything. I'm just giving you my opinion. If it makes you go somewhere else, well, then maybe that's your weak-ass minded self and not my hypocrisy statement. Just saying.
But if she can show the hypocrisy, she thinks that's a big gotcha.
I don't show it. You show it.
It's like, well, you have nothing now because you too are this way or whatever. Another thing she likes to do is know you reverse. I know you are, but what am I? And that is really dishonest. And we saw that with the CP thing. That's, it wasn't that big.
How is that dishonest? I know you are. What did you say? You said, I know you are, but what am I?
Deal like it's CP is just satire. Reverse. Okay, I know you are, but what am I? And that is really dishonest. And we saw that with the CP thing.
I'm not sure how me pointing out the disgustingness of you trying to turn something into nothing into something is me saying, I know you are, but what am I? That is simply me pointing out that you are in fact doing what you are accusing me of doing. And you are not pointing out to where I am doing this thing. In fact, you are lying about it. So that's not me saying, I know you are, but what am I? I'm actually giving you an argument when I argue back. You're just giving me a whiny little statement.
It wasn't that big of a deal. He's just satire.
I never said that. See?
Called her out on it. He said, oh my God, why do you want my children in CP so bad?
Why did I say that? I said it because I never said it was just satire. I never said that whatever. And let me ask you something. How do you know that what I got was CP? Did you see it? Like, seriously, because I can only speak to what I received. And I made that perfectly clear. I said, I'm only speaking to what I received. I can't speak to anyone else. I haven't seen anyone else, and nor do I want to. So what gives you the authority to talk about what I received? Seriously, did you see it? I mean, are you passing around the images that I got? Did you somehow get it? I mean, I didn't send it to anyone. So if you did see what I got, then that would mean that it only came from one other source. So, why are you talking shit that you don't have any idea? Are you trying to turn something that you have no fucking clue about and turn it into something like that when you don't know? You don't know. You never seen it.
What she did to me when I confronted her was, oh my God, you must be obsessed with R. What she does is she
Wait. Are we talking
reverses
about
it
R?
on you.
Are we talking about R? Or are we talking about CP here? Because you're jumping all over these things. Like, you can't stick to one subject frame, it seems.
And if you bring this up at a later date, it means that you are
No, that's not what I said.
weaponizing R. You're re-victimizing victims.
Nope.
We heard this from Manya several times.
No,
right?
what I said was,
Manya, who gladly.
I didn't say if you bring this up. I said that if you didn't bring it up for months beforehand, but you don't bring it up, and then you do bring it up after I defended Steve, and you're continuously bringing it up now that you accuse me of defending Steve, then yeah, you're using it to fight your agenda, to fight me over fucking Steve. Because if you genuinely cared about it, then you would have said something anytime during the months before Steve was the issue for you.
They told a lie about essay 50 times. She retweeted 50 times. I wish I was lying. It sounds like it's hyperbolic, but it was like counted. It is documented 50 times she retweeted a lie about sexual assault. Meanwhile, chanting, and this is Manya, chanting, you're victimizing victims. So the same thing, the same like mantra that the sister wives chant, the same thing, bullshit thing that EKC is repeating. There are reasons why I didn't get into it at the time when it happened. One reason is I was like, who the fuck is EKC? And I was learning very slowly.
And you just had to
Another
know,
reason was I had a death in the family. I had COVID and I ended up with long COVID.
So wait a minute, you had no idea who I was, but it wasn't until you had COVID and long COVID and a death in the family that you wanted to find out who I was? Is that what you're saying? Because that's kind of what you just said. Now imagine if I just ignored everything else that you say and just kept reiterating that statement over and over and over again. And Eve just kept talking over you as you explained yourself. No, that's not what I said. Imagine that. Because that's exactly what you're fucking doing to me.
COVID, and just wasn't the time to get into a spar with people. But I would hear things about it quite a bit. And I heard a lot of folks, a lot of women particularly, were.
But did you hear me? Because you're now talking about having an issue with me and some shit that I said or did. Did you ever once hear me during that time? Did you hear me? Did you talk to me? Did you ask me? No, you didn't. You asked the people who were talking the fucking story that you wanted, who were feeding into your bias. That's what you did. You didn't give me a single consideration. And that's fucking asinine, isn't it?
We're disgusted by her. And we're shocked by it and thought it was disgusting and foul and just dark and low.
You never even talked to me, and you're coming to this conclusion.
Feel generally unsafe.
You don't think you don't find a problem with that?
You don't like it. Wow, that's pretty fucking bad. Just saying. Now, moving on. So yeah, it seems like much of the shit I didn't catch until the shit was Steve. Okay, and don't get me wrong here, guys. I get it. Steve can be kind of a pain in the ass. I get how he can get on your nerves. He can get on your skin. Okay, I'm not saying I don't see this at all ever. I might be able to see it a little. But you know what? As friends, I ignore it. I move on. I just move on. And I'm sure that he does the same exact thing to me when I had the same effect on him. I'm sure I had the same effect on a lot of people.
Fucking liar.
Just ignore it and move on.
Oh my God.
I'm very grateful and thankful for that. Okay? But I get it. So just move on. Just fucking move on.
Echo ID, whatever. Fucking
really?
liar.
You mean to tell me that you're still
So you're not allowed to decide when people can move on when they have a problem. I love people that demand grace because people demand.
No, see, here's the thing. I don't care if you move on yourself personally. You can hold on to your problem, your grudge against me for as long as you fucking want. What I'm saying is, if you're going to keep coming at me, trying to beat your fucking belief in my head and ignoring everything I say, and in fact, claiming I didn't say that or claiming I said other, you're not letting it go. You're not dropping it with me. You are just fucking beating a dead horse with me. So that's what I'm saying to move on about. You feel any way you fucking want about it. I don't care. But that doesn't give you a right to keep fucking harassing me because you're unhappy with something I said.
Demand grace are interesting because they want to abuse grace. I have been around, and I'm just gonna use this as an example. I've been around fundamental Christians quite enough that abuse the concept of forgiveness and grace so much so that they allow abusers to.
What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you bringing up fundamental Christians? And dude, I'm not even Christian or fundamental. I'm not a part of any church or whatever. Nothing I've done is related to that at all. Why are you talking about yourself here in something that has nothing to do with this? Because you're trying to work the narrative. You're trying to manipulate the way this is going, and you're trying to turn it into something else. Watch. I haven't even watched this part yet, but watch.
Like serious abusers. Your dad beat you, or your priest molested you. Well, it's no big deal, you know. Like you have to apply grace. You have to. It's forced. You have to forgive. And grace, by definition, is a gift that you do not deserve. And I'm sorry, but nobody gets to demand that of me. And nobody gets to demand that of anybody. And so I think one of the things that maybe Casey might be missing is she thinks that this is just a violation towards KJP, but I don't think so. After talking to a lot of women, I have found that a lot of women find it as a violation just against anybody that's been a victim.
It is not a violation against any other woman because I did not do this regarding any other woman. Okay, you cannot sit there and say, oh, I know how Katie feels as a victim and anything that happens to her is a violation to me too. No, that's not how this works. Okay, you're trying to create a fucking class action here. Not literally a class action, but a class action of offended people, I guess you could say. Because you know that on your own, you feel you don't have a foot to stand on. And you know what? You don't. I didn't do a fucking thing to you. And if you want to sit there and say, well, I'm a victim too, so therefore you kind of did do it to me. Okay, wow, that's way to latch onto somebody else's trauma there. And secondly, well, so does that mean, say I'm a victim, would that mean that I did that to myself too? Because by your logic, it would. Okay, so no, that's not how this works. Okay. You're virtue signaling. That's what you're doing. You're turning this into some huge slighted offense toward so many people who have trauma. When it's not. It's just not. You don't get to make this about you. You don't get to make this about anyone else. Okay. Katie can feel however she wants about it. I don't really care. But you don't get to feel the same. You don't get to feel like this was a slight against you. No, you don't. Because if that's the case, well, then shit. Christ. Everything anyone says can be a slight against anyone. Quit fucking hijacking shit.
A victim. Anybody that's experienced this or had to go through that.
Go through what? Go through what?
It's violating towards your fellow women. And I think that's what's really shocking and appalling.
By what standard? Like what is the guideline that is considered offensive toward fellow women? Like seriously, is there like a rule book? Is there like a degree of violation here or whatever? Like who determines this? This is just nothing more than your own personal sense of value or whatever, morality. And you're applying it to me and you're applying it to everyone else who's not even fucking involved, or nor do they want to be. But you're making that to be the blanket fucking moral outrage here. You don't get the right to fucking push that shit on anyone else. You don't.
Appalling. And that's my opinion. So many words, so little substance. Yeah,
and your opinion can hold true for you. It can represent you.
It's interesting how slippery she likes to get and how much she likes to reverse things.
So really fucking pissed off because
who the fuck's getting slippery here when you're trying to act like I just did I just offended every fucking woman in the world, our fellow women. That's not slippery to that's like fucking oil on the road kind of slippery. Just a minute, I'm watching the clock. Thank you.
Because he had some shit guest on,
Yeah,
and I don't even know what year was that. It was like 2018 or something. Maybe I don't even fucking know what year it was. Whatever.
Yes, he had a rapist on and then said that he was innocent for fucking no reason.
2019. Are you really?
Did I know Steve then? Did I? I bet that he pulled some girl's hair too in grade school. Did I know him then? You know what? No, I don't. You don't get to hold everyone else who talks to Steve responsible for things you disagree with what Steve has done in the past before they even knew him. Holy shit. If that's the case, then I hold you responsible for every fucking thing Uni's done. Well, at least it's safe to say that you. I'll shut up.
Really that upset about that still?
Yeah, that's pretty upsetting.
Because
great.
Kind of.
Then be upset. But I didn't fucking do it. Why are you upset with me over it? Oh, I know, because you don't really have much of a leg to stand on to come at me over actual things to be upset with me about. So therefore, you're associating me with everything you find wrong in everyone else around me. Wow, that's kind of slippery if you ask me.
Kind of.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Not crazy
it's
to be upset at somebody that welcomes to the dinner table predators. That invites them into community.
What are you talking about? Dinner table and community? What are you talking about? He had someone on his panel one time that's into the community, that's bringing them and asking them to break bread with you. I mean, wow. Talk about exaggerate, dude. Like, why don't you just fucking stick to the actuality and quit dreaming this shit up? And be upset about it. No one's saying not to be upset about it if you don't want to be. Who cares? But you're a little obsessed with it. Like, this is all you want to fucking talk about. Like, I mean, I'm trying to imagine what it must have been like to have been in a relationship with you and have done something wrong, because holy shit. Wow.
That gives them not only just like, a platform. That's what everybody thinks it's about, but it's, for a lot of people, that's not what it's about. For me, I think the platform is part of it.
What platform?
Gives them an invite to sit at the table and pretend that they're not the predator that they are. I'm sorry, but no. And then eventually.
Oh, so Steve's channel was your dinner table? Is that what you're saying? Like, seriously, is that what you're saying? Oh my God, Steve brought someone onto YouTube, on a YouTube channel, which this other dude had a channel, didn't he? So you can't even say it's YouTube. Steve brought another YouTuber onto his channel. Oh my God. He made me sit at dinner and break bread with predator. Like, come on, dude. Fucking toughen up there, Buttercup. No one did anything to you. Steve didn't make you listen. Steve didn't make you accept the dude. Steve didn't force him on you. You are forcing yourself. You're forcing him on you because you won't stop talking about him. You won't stop thinking about him or obsessing about him. Like, if it bothers you that much, just move on, because you know what? Steve moved on. Steve's not even talking about the dude. No one's talking about the dude anymore. No one is bringing him into any community. But you don't want to let him go.
And eventually he recants, but after how long? And after pulling down how much?
So he did what everyone was telling him to do and practically demanding him to do. So he did this. Well, after how long? Where's the goalpost going to go next there, huh, Jan?
So yeah, he called a violent rapist an honorable man. So yeah,
it's not what he said, and
it's not crazy.
It's not what he said.
So I'm just going to stop it here and just sort of kind of give you a little bit of context of that. And then I'm going to go to the meat and potatoes of what I was here for in the first place. So this is longer than I remembered. So, all right, I'm going to flip it over to this one. And here we go.
What's this? Oh
yeah. See, I don't even.
Dude, I love the videos you chose. Seriously,
to me, it's not even the whole issue. It's the way in which.
Dude, these are two of the biggest videos that I wish more people would watch. So I just want to thank you for help putting them out there for me and help more people see them who might normally not see them or hear this. So I genuinely want to thank you for that.
This is going about, like the way this is being handled, like Julie being in the live stream chat and then up and down, she gave her opinion, but that wasn't, obviously Justin didn't agree with her opinion. Okay, so you agree to disagree, you did your part, whatever, move on. But no, she wanted to keep arguing with it. It was crazy. And yeah, I mean, why is it that they're all like, who was it that even started that rumor or whatever about how he must be into like all that nasty ass shit or whatever because of the picture? Oh yeah, that was right. It was someone from Unirock circle.
Mm. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So she's complaining about justice for Justin called a name, and then that somebody from Unirock circle that called him a name, and I was just pointing out like
a
the
name?
threat meter of being
Just
broken.
a name?
Like you are.
Why don't you say what the name was? He was being accused of being a necrophiliac. He wasn't just accused of being a jerk.
Are proclaiming over the name.
Not even just a necrophiliac, but like a pedo-necrophiliac, I guess you could say, because the whole minor girl who's 17 or 16 or something, mind you, kept being reiterated. So, but yeah, sure. Way to downplay shit there.
Well, someone called him a name, and then but this is the
Jesus
same
Christ,
person.
you flip
names are bad.
You flip out because someone called Julie a psycho, or because someone called you a sociopath, or whatever it was. He was accused of being into minor girls who were dead. That's what he was accused of. It's the hypocrisy for me.
And I said this in chat. I said names are bad, but pulling our reports are fine.
See what I mean? Thank you for admitting that.
Like
Thank you for just coming out and saying that you had nothing to do with this conversation. You hadn't even spoken in the live stream chat yet. And the very first thing out of your mouth is pulling in this report. You are obsessed with this. I was talking about nothing close to that. Oh, but pulling it. Let's bring this back around to Aaron and the R reports because that's what I want to talk about. And I'm a freak like that. Just say it. Just fucking say it, dude.
This is how she thinks.
Yeah. I love how you keep coming at me over that R report, but then you just gloss over and just say that, oh, Justin was just called a name when he was accused of being into fucking dead kids, basically.
And so this is what was the catalyst of her to say this coming up.
Yes, pulling our reports are fine, HolySpackle, when you're proving that the police officer did his job and how and why he did his job. That is absolutely fair game, especially when that person went public with all the information themselves. How quickly we forget. So here, let me put it in the chat to remind everyone what is Katie Bennett put out since HolySpackle. It's so important to talk about this. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to put...
Yeah. Jesus Christ, you're like obsessed.
I'm going to put the link to that Google Drive folder in the description here because you know what? Here's the thing. Every time HolySpackle wants to obsess about this, I'm going to share the link. So hopefully I can remind people what it is that actually happened and what it is I did and why I did it and not, let HolySpackle get away with her own fucking self-serving, exploitative fucking narrative there. Because that's disturbing.
That's aren't you? It's fucking gross at this point. But here, let me pull this up for you and share the link. This is what I'm going to do every time HolySpackle, one of her ilk, want to come around and start dropping this shit, okay? I'm going to just keep
the warning.
It is Katie Choi said and did. That's what I'm going to do.
So every time you say something, I'm going to dig deeper and deeper. And deeper.
No, that's not digging deeper.
Say something. I'm
committing the same act over and over again that I've already done, like probably a dozen times already. How is that digging deeper? You're doing the same fucking shit over and over again. So I'm going to react the same way over and over and over again. So if I'm digging deeper, well, then shit, dude, you're fucking halfway to China by now.
Make it so I hurt the victim so that you will shut up. And then it will be your fault.
No. You see, I'm not doing this to hurt any victim. Not at all. See, I didn't even put any of this shit out there originally. That was all Katie. Katie put that out, not me. I'm just reminding people what it is Katie put out. every time you want to try and tell your fucking version of the story, which is complete bullshit that serves no one but yourself. I am muted, right? Okay, good. I tend to forget that. Come on. Why are these sticking? Come on.
My computer is so slow. Yes, and in here, in this Google Drive link I'm about to share, you will find all the posts that I collected. Like everything in this folder is what I sent to the police department.
Boy,
That's
does
just what
she she
you'll find.
collect a
You'll find
lot.
the live streams Katie did where she disparaged
Why is
us,
that?
told all that shit. You will find all
Seriously, ask yourself, why is it that I collected a lot? How is it I collected a lot? I collected everything that Katie put out in just a matter of days. Days. So if I collected a lot, well, then it just means that there was a lot to fucking collect in a very short period of time.
all the posts that she had done, how she outed everyone, how she fucking outed everyone. Which is, I mean, as far as the person that
Again, you can have a conversation about,
No,
you know,
apparently we can't.
should victims out everybody? So like we understand that people feel like the legal system fails. And the Me Too movement is about like saying, like, this happened to me, this is my story. But then, you know, like, could somebody be falsely accused and things like that? That could be a conversation to
so
have.
you think it's a worthy and expected or acceptable conversation to have whether or not a victim can name, you know, the person who harmed them? You think that should be up for debate or discussion, but to then give any kind of support to an officer who's falsely accused, and not even of that crime, but just of being a corrupt officer, like that's hey, it's nope, can't be touched. That's off limits. Like that seems a little ass backwards.
But not the way that
Like, even
this
I
is
don't
being
think that.
done. And so it's one of those things where there's some sort of certainty that a wrong has been done to the police officer. And so this Karen is going to pull the R report
I'm a
and then
Karen for
go
that?
and contact the police and make a big deal. And
No, dear. A Karen is someone who calls management, who calls someone to come in and solve their problems for them. A Karen isn't someone who goes out and solves the problem herself. That's what I did.
go make a hangout
Bitch, if anything, I'm a Ken.
about it, and then disperse the R report to multiple people.
Oh, really? Who?
Remember, she
Who?
said,
What multiple people? Tell me who these multiple people are. Please tell me. See, because Sassy was one, and Sassy hasn't shared it with a fucking soul, right? Who else? Who else? I did offer it to Irish Badass, but she don't want it, I don't think. I don't like it there. Yeah, I offered it to Tina. Yeah, I mean, these are people who I consider really good friends, though. For an Irish, I was an idiot to that. I get that, but either way, I wasn't sure. So seriously, who are these multiple people? See, again, you can't just fucking be accurate. You can't. You never even asked me either. You just listened to what fucking Unirock said, who'd never even had a conversation with me until that night on this fucking channel. Great sources there, dude.
in another video, I don't care if I gave it to 4 people or 400 people.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, like, this is not really
Yeah,
how
again,
somebody's
you're not fucking speaking of that in context. You're just talking half the fucking story. I didn't say, oh, I don't care if I gave it to anyone or not. What I said is, if it got out, then it wasn't because I gave it to someone. It's because someone who had it chose to put it out. So I don't care if I gave it to 4 people or 400 people. Whoever fucking put it out is the person guilty of putting it out. But regardless, no one I gave it to put it out. So what's interesting, though, is there are other people who obtained the report through the police department. That's what you might want to be focused on. All right, on that note, I'm going to end this because I want to hurry up and download it, and I want to upload it hopefully before when I go on break at work tonight, because I really want to get this part out, and I can't wait to fucking finish this shit. Wow, dude, you are truly, I think, Unirock's probably best disciple, best fucking student, whatever, because you are one hell of a disinformation agent. I hope you're getting paid for this because you're pretty fucking good at it. Well, almost. on that note, I'll be back later, whenever. I don't know.